Ariel Helwani for mmarated.com at the Shamrock Martial Arts Academy in San Jose, California, and you'll never guess who I bumped into here. The legend, Frank Shamrock. Frank, how's it going?
It's good. It's going good.
All right, so there's a lot to talk to you about. But first off, I want to talk about the most important thing, your health. How's the forearm?
Forearm is good. I got an x-ray last week. They said they'll take the plate out in 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm all good.
So when do you expect, if all goes well, to be back in the cage competing?
Probably September, October this year. That's what it looks like.
Any thoughts on who your opponent might be?
I don't know. I think it'll probably be one of these CBS guys, like maybe Robbie or one of these guys that are making some waves on CBS. But I don't know. I don't know right now. The industry's kind of in an uproar, so.
Right. Well, there's obviously an October CBS show. Is there a chance that you might be maybe competing against the winner of Robbie Lawler, Scott Smith?
Maybe. Could be. That's something I'm definitely thinking about.
You got no inside info for me?
No, I haven't made any decisions, and I guess it's always up to me. So, but yeah, I mean, the beauty of having a network behind you is you can make stars really fast.
Right.
And that's always been my problem. It takes a long time to build a star. So, I'm just waiting for stars to pop out, and if new guys don't pop up, then I'll fight an old guy, like my brother.
Is that still being talked about? I actually spoke to Scott Coker recently, and he was actually questioning whether you still wanted to have that fight. Is that something still on your mind?
Yeah. No, I'm still working on it. Just, after Ken's loss, it kind of cooled it down a little bit. It made it a little harder to put the deal together. But no, I'm still 100% focused on it.
How pissed were you when you saw him lose that fight to Buzz Berry? You must have been sitting somewhere and being like, "You screwed me again, Ken."
Well, you know what? I just, I kind of felt bad for him when he lost that fight because, I knew how important it was to him. And, it was important to our deal, but I don't think, it was more important to his career and longevity than, our deal. I'm not worried about it. I think the two brands and the storyline are way bigger than anything else going on in the sport right now.
Originally, there was a website that was launched, and the countdown was leading towards a date in December. So is it safe to say that has kind of been postponed a little, or are you still maybe shooting for December?
Well, no, our actual goal is the first quarter of next year. So that's where our countdown is supposed to be going.
Okay.
But yeah, late April of next year has been my goal.
All right. Well, that's another fight to look out for. Obviously, the last time we saw you compete was Kung Lee in March, a tough loss for you. I'm sure you still have desires and interests to, try to avenge that loss at some point once you're healthy as well, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, Kung will probably come along in probably 2010.
That long?
Yeah. Well, the problem with Kung is he's not very, he's not a good promoter. So, and a lot of people don't know who he is. So it takes a little bit more time to build a fight like that.
You don't think at this point defeating a legend such as yourself that it's done a good enough job of kind of putting him in the forefront? I mean, I think most casual MMA fans know who he is just by the fact alone that he defeated you.
Yeah, I mean, put him on the map, but you don't sell big pay-per-view, that way. It takes a while to build a personality, and Kung's a really good martial artist. He's not very good in front of the camera. He pretty much dies when it comes to closing the interview or completing the storyline. So he's a little more challenging to work with. But I think, built right, it'd be a beautiful fight, and this time I won't play with him. I'll just smash him.
He's actually getting into acting, as you might know. I guess you don't have high hopes for his acting career based on, your thoughts of him in front of the camera?
No, he sucks as an actor. And I mean, he's a good fighter, but his acting skill has a lot to be desired.
You mentioned the, you playing with him. In hindsight, did you think that you did a little too much there? Did it take you out of your game that you were focused on, all the for lack of a better term, the antics in the cage, or, that really had nothing to do with anything?
No, I mean, it had nothing to do with anything. I just, for me, it's however I feel inside. But, I never worried about Kong, and I never thought he could ever beat me. So I fought a fight that I thought would be challenging and fun. Next time I'll just go in and smash him.
All right, well, let me just ask you a few other questions. Obviously, we saw you on CBS as well. Your star continues to shine on multiple platforms. I was actually sitting cage side for mmarated.com, and I noticed when the show went on the air, the first, the opening intro with Gus and Morrow, you had your eyes closed. You were like taking it all in and doing a little meditation. Could you just tell me what exactly you were doing? Because that was a pressure-packed moment, and you were just in the zone as opposed to Morrow and Gus.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, it was a pretty stressful moment for me, and I'm a martial artist, so a lot of what I do is focusing my mind, relaxing my body, and accomplishing the task at hand. It's always served me well fighting So I do it for pretty much everything. Big meetings, network deals, cage fights. It's settling yourself, getting your mind right is hugely important.
Now, a few weeks later, what did you think of your performance in terms of in the broadcast booth on CBS?
And it was pretty good. I got some really good feedback from people I respected in the industry, other commentators and stuff. So I'm always critical upon myself. But the general feeling seems to be that I did pretty good, and everybody seemed to like it. That was good.
Did you like the card? Because obviously there was a lot of controversy around the card as well for the early stoppages, the Kimbo Slice fight. Overall, though, did you think that it was a good representation of the sport for its first entry on the mainstream network level?
I thought it was a good example of MMA and what can happen, will happen, and does happen in the sport of mixed martial arts.
The second show is obviously very big because you want to see if you can grab that audience and keep them to come back. And it seems as though they're going the more, to please the hardcore fans, giving us guys like Nick Diaz and Jake Shields. Do you think that this show can do as good, if not better, of a rating in July?
I think it can do better. I know CBS was very hesitant on the onset, committing marketing to it because they didn't know how it was going to go, and they didn't want everybody to it was them at the end of it if it was a failure. So I know they're going to be further vested in promoting it. I think a lot of people tuned in because they wanted to see what it was. I think we definitely delivered on what mixed martial arts was. That's what the goal was. So I have high hopes for the next show in the ratings.
Safe to say that you, Gus, and Mara will still be calling the second show?
Let's hope so, unless they get fired. Of course, I didn't tell them my braces, so we'll see what they say to that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the braces. I don't know that I met you a couple times. I never noticed the braces. Is this a new thing?
Yeah, I just got them like last week. I've always had way too many teeth in my mouth. So for the past, I'd say about 10, 12 years, I've been looking into getting my teeth done, fixed. But I never have enough time between fights or events. This is the time with the broken arm that I have enough time between events to actually do something.
How long are you going to have them in for?
It's about 8 months, I think.
So now when you fight, you have obviously a mouth guard at the top, and you're going to have to wear one in the bottom too so you don't get cut?
Yeah, I'll wear a traditional and custom-made boxing mouthpiece, which is top and bottom and a hole in the center. That'll be, I'll have to use that now. Now I also have cool headgear for sparring. It's like this, like a big cage on my head. So that part is good.
So when are you planning on telling the CBS executives that you have braces now?
Probably another week or so.
All right. Well, best of luck with that. One final question. There's a guy out there who is a free agent now in the sport of mixed martial arts, a man that you have history with, obviously the Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz. This is a fight that I think every martial arts fan or mixed martial arts fan wants to see happen again. Any news to report on that front?
I don't have any news, but I can tell you that the idea and the deal is progressing nicely.
Really?
Yeah.
In terms of what?
In terms of a fight happening.
EliteXC, Strike Force, something like that?
We don't really have a company for it yet. EliteXC is making a good bid for it. So I anticipate and hope that we'll end up there, but I don't know.
You're one of the few guys who actually believes in that you can promote a pay-per-view card without having one of the traditional organizations, surrounding it, like the Shamrock versus Shamrock fight. You would be okay with promoting a fight card, not having a EliteXC, Strike Force, UFC, one of those traditional MMA promotions backing it?
Sure, or I would hire them. Because the truth is, they're promoters. They just promote. So you hire that guy, hire the distributor. You can hire those guys.
If you were a betting man, do you think this fight would happen in 2008?
Which one?
Tito.
Not in 2008, no. I have my 2008 year planned. And my 2009 and my 2010.
Quickly run it by for me. So October, we're looking at the winner of Scott Smith, Robbie Lawler, and then 2009. Yeah. I guess you have one fight left in 2008, right?
2008, yeah. I'll do one more this year, provided everything heals up. And then 2009 is Ken. Late 2009 will be Tito. And then early 2009 will be Kung. And then I don't know who is after that. I'm running out of people.
Are you going to tell Ken to cool it on the fighting until you get your hands on him, just so that it doesn't cheapen the fight even more?
Yeah, well, I don't think he has much choice. I mean, the price, the purse that he asks is very high, and for that purse, he needs to fight somebody tough. So he's caught in a catch-22. I just want him to take care of his brand, take care of himself. This fight I think is a huge windfall by way of money for both of us. But also, I think it's an opportunity to promote and tell a story inside of a fight that's really powerful. So I think that will do everybody good.
All right, well, we have 2 years worth of Frank Shamrock to look forward to, at least on the schedule right now.
Yeah.
Of course, he is the legend. The next time we're going to be seeing him is in July for the CBS event, and then hopefully back in the cage or, ring, octagon, wherever in September or October.
I'm always somewhere. Yeah, I'm always somewhere.
Always somewhere, and including the dentist office, apparently.
Once a week I go to the dentist.
All right, Frank, thanks a lot. Appreciate the time.
No worries. My pleasure.